So I replaced the existing filter set in my Skywell with a reverse osmosis system. And I hooked that up to this little relay here so that whenever I turn the pump on, it'll open up the relay. And you can actually hear the water coming out of there. And you can also see the water. I think it's showing up, coming out there. Oops, flew a little bit too far and I'm leaking. There we are as I leak everywhere. So the water gets sucked out of the white pipe, sent into the reverse osmosis. The brine gets back here, and then the blue goes to the chiller tank. So that's it working right there. And as I turn the booster pump off, you're gonna still hear that system go ahead and cycle the last of the brine, and it'll turn off a little bit later. The main reason for this is recirculation of that collection tank so that the water there doesn't get stagnant. You can hear it's gonna stop pretty soon. So there's the valve. And now you can finally hear the pump stop. And then you can see I'm hoping to catch the drips. I can't open it too much because otherwise it won't drip into the collection. There it is. Just capturing what the system does on first boot up. It always shows 50% and then it'll actually readjust to the actual level. And the temperature should also adjust as well, unless of course the chillers and heater have actually been off, which would make sense. Alright, so the system started back up and did not initially kick on pumping from the collection tank. It's reading the cold tank level is 25, which is accurate, and filters at 100. Collection tank level. Those are good UVs. Yeah, 20%. That's what it's leading as the collection tank level. So overall, not bad. Exactly what it should be. So yeah, now it is kicking on now. So this is the plumbing for the system, and it may look a little complicated, and it is. But that's actually just because I wanted to have the ability to add a clean out to the system. So for the first off, the reverse osmosis system takes incoming water, which is the white tubes here, and then it's going to produce 2 parts, or rather 2/3 of that is going to go into the pure, and then 1/3 of that is going to go into the brine. So for my system, for this incoming water here, you're either going to open this valve right here to the yellow for the output of the pump, or you're going to close this one and open this one, and that's going to grab your city water. And then that's going to send pure water out to this pipe here, and you're either going to open up this valve here and send it through the blue wire into the chiller tank of the Skywell, or you're going to open up this valve right here and send it into the collection tank of the Skywell for an additional processing cycle. And the brine is either going to get sent down the drain through this valve right here, or you're going to open this valve and the red tube is going to send it back into the Skywell for additional processing. The brine water can also be opened up through this valve here and sent out for plants or for a dishwasher through a separate system. And one other thing that this allows is for the clean out, which is when you're going to take the white water from the Skywell collect tank, then you're going to pull it through the hose, or rather through the pump, so it'll come out this yellow here, and then you're going to open up this valve and close this valve here, so that you're just going to pump all of the water that's in the collection tank out of the system so that you can clean it. And then this also allows you to go ahead and to take the city water and to redirect that to the red fill valve, which is this one here, back to the Skywell, so you can essentially add water that's passed through the pure cycle of the reverse osmosis into the collection tank, and you can use that to kind of clean the system out, because you don't want to use dirty water to clean that, obviously. And then you suck that through again and just dump it. That way you're not taking that dirty water, which will also have some cleaning agents in it, like hydrogen peroxide or maybe something stronger, and you don't want that to go into your reverse osmosis filter. So that's the reason for this complicated method. And this is going to go out to the dishwasher as a way to make sure that the 11% that I'm going to waste is not going to just go down the drain. And I also just wanted to document this for my own personal view, because it did take me a while. So this one goes down to the drain. This one is the brine output from the reverse osmosis system, which is the Brio G20. This one here is the output to the dishwasher or some other collection method. 2 valves. This is the output of the pump that pulls it from the collection, and this goes ahead and feeds into the collection. And this white one here feeds from the collection into the pump. Let's see here, the blue one here is for the reverse osmosis output water that is pure. This one right here is actually the input water to the reverse osmosis that feeds into a larger 3/8 adapter. And then this blue right here, it's just kind of elbowed for simplicity, goes out to the Skywell. So that's all the connections there. Because I do smoke in the house, I decided to add a pre-filter to the main filter to just make sure that any smoke particulates and tar that's collecting in there doesn't actually feed into the pump. So I have this carbon block filter here, which is just a cheap filter that should catch all of that stuff, so it doesn't clog into the RO. And that's the 4-chamber pump that I'm using there. If I move my hand any closer, I won't be able to get it in frame, but it's just a cheap $20 4-chamber pump. Alright, so we're going to go into service mode, and we're going to turn the recirculate on. And you can see that opened up that valve right there, and this is a float control sensor, so you can hear the water flooding in to the system with the recirculate pump running. Then I turn it off and the pump closes and you can hear the whole thing stop. So it's working the way it's supposed to. The recirculate valve actually triggers this relay right here. Oops, I did it too quick. And as soon as this sensor realizes that there's too much brine in the system, I can get that. I wish I had a flashlight. But you can see it's flowing in there at a pretty good rate. And once it hits a certain level, it should stop.